And welcome, race fans, to another episode here at CRN with the 191 Motorsports. And tonight, where we have the privilege and of watching some throwback schemes on these cars, along with being at good old Charlotte. 1.46 miles around here, so a mile and a half. It looking like a good one here. We have 17 drivers out here tonight, so looking to have a fantastic race. 125 laps. You know, my buddy Carl will be in the booth here shortly. He just had to run off to get a hold of people. There he is. He will be joining us. Instead of him bringing me in, I will bring him in. Carl, we're at Charlotte, baby. It's another night underneath the lights.
Yeah, and it's great to see these paint schemes underneath lights as well, as you mentioned, with the throwback schemes here tonight, and a lot of good-looking ones out there already. I'm seeing, right off the bat with the 18 right there up front with Roger Saucier. We're gonna bring him in to talk with him pre-race, but since we're a little bit behind here tonight, we're gonna let them just focus on getting this race started, and then if and when we get a caution out there on the track, we'll try and bring him in, talk to him a little bit. But obviously, he doesn't need our help to get the pole, as he's starting out there out front. Jimmy, while the qualifying is already done and we're ready to get this thing underway for 125 laps, why don't you give us a rundown of tonight's order?
Yeah, quick rundown of tonight's order. Obviously, all on one page tonight. It's going to be Bryce Saucier on the pole here tonight in the number 18 with Billy Rickett on the outside. Again, another great showing there by Billy. Levi Poland up there in third with Michael Casey in fourth. Richard Hartman in fifth. Dale Garner Jr. in sixth. Matthew Jordan in seventh. Jason Crispin in 8th, Zane Bierman in 9th, Travis Noble in 10th, Paul Helms in 11th, Wade Enyart back in 12th, Bradley Worley back there in 13th, then it's Chris Perry, Douglas Ivey, Matthew Radford, and Scott Henderson for your 17 fantastic drivers here from 191.
Yeah, and once again, 125 laps is on tap here tonight for 191 here at Charlotte. As take a look at the standings coming in. It is Levi Poland on top of the boards by 15 over Michael Casey. Matthew Jordan, Billy Rickett, Justin Spengler for your top 5. Then you got Travis Noble, Bradley Worley, Douglas Ivey, Scott Henderson, and Zane Bierman for your top 10. As we're looking at, as my mouse just decided to jump all around there. Okay, we're looking at the second half of the schedule. Right now, with this Charlotte being the 12th race of the season, so kind of getting more towards the back half of the schedule. We'll see if Levi Poland can hold this thing. I believe he's been leading this thing pretty much from the rip, and he's qualified up there with the country time number 91 up in third. And I mean, he doesn't need a throwback paint scheme. He already has been running it all season, and it's been working out pretty nice. So it ain't broke, don't fix it for sure for the 91 of Levi Poland. We'll see if anyone else can get up there, get the W here tonight. Pace car lights are out. Going to be heading in, and we're going to get this thing underway as wait for Barney to drop the green flag here this evening. And we are racing at Charlotte.
Yeah, away we go, and a great start from the outside here on the lights. As Billy Rickett heads to the outside here, going down to turn number 1. The 18, though, of Bryce looking to put the Hooters machine out front here right after turn number 2. And the inside's going to reign supreme early on here. So be able to move up the track and get that momentum away from Billy Rickett. But Levi Poland on the inside as they head down to turn number 3.
Good start for the field here, and as mentioned, 125 laps. I can't say 125 laps enough because this thing can get dicey pretty quick, especially on these opening laps with everybody mixed up together. So you just got to kind of settle into your form and let the race come to you. It's definitely a race where you can see multiple grooves. You can see the low line, mid line, even the high line working here for the drivers. You just got to find out what works for you. And then, kind of, again, settle into that race and try and figure out what's going to be the best for you for tire saving, for everything. But come around, you're completing another lap here. Good start for the field, and you already see it starting to spread out here a little bit. It gives a good look here, looking from the far cameras, seeing all these cool paint schemes out there. Obviously, we mentioned the the Hooters number 18 out front. You got the Viagra number 6, the country time we've seen all year. Obviously, the throwback paint scheme for Biffle on the number 16 out there. The Skull Machine, Jimmy. I know. I'm sure that's a big old fan favorite for you.
Yeah, it's definitely it's the feelers. I've got signed Harry Gant card and Matchbox car laying around the house somewhere, so I was able to see that person drive out here many years ago. But definitely great to see these paint schemes out there, and even the people that don't still have great paint schemes. It's just one more thing for the drivers to kind of get into, and another aspect of iRacing, just painting the cars. And we've talked about it before, how nice a lot of some of these cars are, and whether the drivers have done it themselves or whether they've had somebody do it for them, or they found it on Trading Paint. So just a shout out to those that like that aspect of this art, of this hobby. And I know Billy Rickett looking a little saucy out there outside the 18, but it's my first paint job on one of these cars took over 8 hours, and it was like one color. So I guess give a huge shout out to the drivers that take the time for multiple colors, different like paint schemes that mimic some of the throwbacks that are out there. But yeah, just looking good out there. Look fast, go fast, they say.
Yes, absolutely, and I've mentioned so many times before, I can base paint with the best of them. That's about all I can do. I can put a base paint on there, or I can add team handwork or team covert when we have our special events, and maybe throw a couple logos on there. But as far as designs and getting in the nitty gritty of it, that some of these drivers out here do on the side. I mean, it's a labor, but it's a labor of love for a lot of them out here. And as Jimmy mentioned, some of these drivers, that's what they're doing in the midst of in between races. They're creating a new paint scheme, especially for these one-off events where it's the throwback schemes, or like we had last week with Pit Road Speed Limit, where they had the dodgeball paint schemes. Some of them do them themselves, some of them farm it out to a paint shop to do it. But either way, it's something that definitely takes some time, and just like racing out there on the track, it definitely takes some practice as well. But good start here for the field. All 17 doing a good job running out here. Right on board with Wade Enyart right now, back here in 14th. But up front, Billy Rickett leads the way. Bryce Saucier, Michael Casey, Dale Garner Jr., and Jason Chrisman for your top 5. Levi Poland back to 6th. Zane Bierman, Matthew Jordan, Bradley Worley, and Richard Hartman for your top 10.
Yeah, Billy Rickett out there trying to get that elusive win. Obviously, we know here at 191 they do a comp caution, and I think it's the first obviously 25 laps or so in order to kind of let the drivers get out there and basically get that run in and run together, the side-by-side action. But rack them back up and maybe make small adjustments that maybe they made a mistake and they've fallen back in the field a little bit farther, and obviously gives you in that mind frame of like where your pit stops at. If they don't have a caution before 25, at least it gives them the opportunity to find it. So if they need to come down one more time in the remainder of the race, they know where that location is at. I definitely know being a multi-class driver, and when you drive the slower car, sometimes you don't know where your pit stop's at. It could be the first stall as soon as you enter pit road. That's happened. And you'll drive right by it. So, but the Daytona 24-hour event coming up here in iRacing, I'm sure there's a lot of drivers out there looking forward to doing that. I know myself, Carl, and a few of our buddies are going to get out there and run this thing and to see if we can get another victory. We've been successful a couple times and had some great runs last year. We had some good runs. It was a lot of fun just hanging out with some people from other leagues, having us join in with them. So they had enough people. So it's a long time to have one or two people drive 24 hours. So you want to have at least 5 to 6, I think upwards of, 12 or 15 or something crazy like that. You can do
upload of them. Yeah, I think you can do uploads of at least 12. And I guess, if you want to have 12 on a team and everybody does 2 hours, sure. But yeah, I'd be more along the lines of the other way around and go more towards like a 4-man team and doing a good chunk of the race. But yeah, kind of 5 or 6 is your in my opinion, your happy medium of how many drivers on there, because the problem is that the more drivers you have in there, to me, the more chance you have of a mistake or having a setup that works for one or two drivers and it doesn't work for some of the others. But it's also, keeping the drivers fresh. I mean, there's a reason that on 24-hour teams in real life, there's only 2, 3, or 4 man teams, because you want to keep the drivers fresh in there, not necessarily fresh as in sleep wise, but fresh with the feel for the car and the track knowledge and everything like that. And when you get out there and you run for 2-3 hours, and then all of a sudden you're not running again for another 10 hours, it's almost like you need to kind of get yourself warmed up and loose, and that could take hopefully only a few laps, but maybe it takes half a stint until you kind of finally feel back in the groove of things, and maybe that car has a little bit of damage since the last time you drove it, and now all of a sudden it handles completely different. So it's nice to kind of have your stints close together, so you're not having a big break in there, and maybe 2 chunks of the first half of the race is when you're running, instead of running a little bit at the beginning and then a little bit at the end.
Yeah, and unlike the NASCAR boys here, I mean, yes, they have different manufacturers, and I want to say the Toyota, I think, is the only one where RPM is just a little bit different. But either way, it's they're always really close. You can get a setup for Charlotte Oval, and it works for all 3 cars, and that's not the case when it comes to the GT cars or the GTP cars, because there's many different manufacturers, up to, what is it, 15 or something like that now. So
I think it's 11 or 12. Yeah.
So between those and then the 7 or 8 from the GTP class, and then throw in the LMP2 as well, many different setups that can be acquired. So when you have a smaller team, and also a little bit easier, it's hard to make 3 or 4 people happy, let alone I could imagine a dozen. Oh, that Casey tagging the wall there. That's going to hurt, so hopefully not too much damage on the 6 for that one. But we'll go back here as the field is starting to break up here in about 2 different groups. Zane Bierman kind of being in the middle, but Dale Garner Jr.
He's scrubbing the wall there a little bit there, too.
Leading this second pack here with Matthew Scruffy Jordan and Travis Noble back here, Bradley Worley. Bradley Worley up 3 spots. Biggest mover of the race is the number 98 of Jason Crispin, up 4 spots in P number 4. So trying to make another staple here tonight. Somebody out there said Scott Henderson's out there jamming to the Bee Gees. Did I see that?
Well, he's staying alive right now. I will give him that. He's back there, unfortunately, in 17th, about 3 seconds behind Chris Perry for the next position. But yeah, we mentioned about setups, and the one thing that is nice about all the leagues that we cover, including the ones in core, is they're all fixed setup leagues. So typically they'll run is a good save there by Bradley Worley.
Wow.
Great save, actually. Okay, I will try and talk again now before I was rudely interrupted there. They typically run the iRacing setups, like Jimmy mentioned, the Charlotte setup, I'm sure, is what they're running here tonight. In the GT series, a lot of times they run the fixed setup or the low downforce or the mid downforce, things like that, where everybody's out there with the same setup across the board. So you don't have somebody that is in with a setup shop and they can get the fastest setup that's running out there, and you can have a driver that's a mid-pack driver, but you put him in with the best setup, and all of a sudden they'll look like an alien out there, and then putting in some ridiculous times. And I prefer to see who the best drivers are, and that's what you get with, in my opinion, with the fixed setup leagues, is everybody's in there with the same thing. It either works or it doesn't, but you got to figure out how to make it work and make it work fast. And as you're seeing right now from Saucier back to the lead at the front, Poland's now moving himself up into second, but we mentioned quite a bit about Billy Rickett being the quote-unquote best driver out there without a win here so far this season, but the stats would actually tell you a little bit otherwise. He is actually maybe considered the second best driver to not get a win so far this season, Matthew Radford. His average finish this season, he's only been at 7 races, just like Billy Rickett, but average finish for Radford, 3rd. And yet to get a win. I mean, that's pretty good when you're averaging a podium, but still has yet to pick up his first win here on the season. Billy Rickett, unfortunately, his average finish is 6th. for the season so far. So pretty interesting stats right there. But the 97 of Radford not looking on pace just yet. Back there in the field, back there in 11th right now, just outside the top 10. But running pretty good right now. We're already more than 20 laps into this thing. Still got plenty to go, over 100 laps to go. Bryce Saucier leads the way. Levi Poland, Billy Rickett, Michael Casey, and Jason Chrisman for your top 5. Zane Bierman, Travis Noble, Bradley Worley, Richard Hartman, and Dale Garner Jr. for the top 10. But we should be seeing that comp caution here in just a few laps.
Yeah, a couple more laps to go. We're on lap number 23 of 125. We'll see that fly here. And once they get either whether they start number 25 or at the end of it when they start lap number 26, I'm not quite sure, but should be really close to there. But yeah, it's obviously one thing we see Matthew Radford out there. I'm just looking for the Ally car, but running Apex here tonight there with the Apex Racing Association there. So bringing out the number 97, different paint scheme on there. So just a good night all night so far, and the green flag runs are coming. A few drivers maybe just dropping by. Radford is up 6 spots, so your biggest mover of the race so far. Mid-pack, lots of racing, but they're about to be closed in here really close again. And you got Bradley Worley back there battling out with Richard Hartman. So Richard Hartman was able to get a good qualifying in, and we're going to get that comp caution here at the beginning of lap number 25. And we're going to bring it in here. So caution flag is out. They will be slowing these things down. Hopefully they can slow it up, not get into each other, because we've seen that happen before. As everybody needs to slow down to get in, but they got the whole backstretch in order to bring these cars in close with each other, and then I'll bring it down in the pits once they pick up that pace car. But your leader right now is Bryce over Levi Poland, Michael Casey, Billy Rickett, Jason Chrisman for your top 5. Then Zane Bierman, Travis Noble, Bradley Worley, Richard Hartman, and Matthew Radford for your top 10. Paul Helms, Dale Garner Jr., Matthew Scruffy, Jordan, Douglas Ivy, Wade Inyard, Chris Perry, and Scott Henderson for your 17 car field.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the paint schemes here, and maybe my trading paints hasn't updated, or maybe mine hasn't and yours hasn't. But yeah, because I actually see the Ally paint scheme for Matthew Radford on my side, and I see Bartholomew out there mentioning that Radford's paint isn't in the broadcast. It's sometimes trading paints just likes to do what it wants to do sometimes, and it all depends on when they get in the session, if they refresh the paint. If we have it refreshed, sometimes trading paints doesn't want to refresh. We'll try and refresh it here for you right now, and see if we can get the paints updated on the screen for you. But sometimes it's just trading paints being trading paints, and they want it'll say, oh yeah, everything is 100% updated, but not the case. But yeah, it looks like I'm seeing on the broadcast before you refresh it here. I did see the Apex one. I'm seeing the Ally, but I got into the session a little bit later, so could be why. But either way, all that talk is not really important right now. Right now, it is getting in here, getting their pit stops done, and just making sure nobody got a black flag. It is under comp caution, but you never know if somebody just tries to get a little greedy coming into pit lane. But now all 17 cars into the pits here for their first pit stops. I'm sure we'll see a lot of just gas and go, but I do see some cars going up here. These drivers only got 4 sets of tires in the pits. I know I'm taking 25 laps in. Maybe worth taking a set right now.
Yeah, I would take a set right now only because this track will eat up some tires, and if you kind of pushed it a little earlier, trying to get yourself establish a position, maybe you don't want to be that car that goes out there and they end up going green, and now you're at 20 these 25 lap old tires and you're going to the back. So yeah, I give myself the best chance. Start off fresh. I mean, that's what a comp caution does. It brings everybody back together. It's a good portion of laps. It would be a little different. I think if your comp caution was like at 10, 15, and I think you'd see more people maybe not take them than take them, but you can notice a huge difference with these the times that are that are set. And you look at the times. I think their best laps are in the 29s. Let's see if I go click on laps here. Yeah, they were all the way down to looks like third. Douglas Ivy was up in the 30.8s, and Bryce was all the way down to a 30.3. So about a half a second off, over 25 laps.
I'm gonna hop in here real quick. I'm gonna bring in Roger Saucier here, leader of the race, and the man we're gonna talk to pre-race didn't get a chance to, but we didn't need to. You already had that thing on the pole. You have that thing up front right now, doing pretty good, getting ready for the restart here. So how's it feel out there?
Feels pretty good. Car's handling good. Track's definitely got multi grooves to it. I'm real happy about. You really run up by the wall and you run right down on the paint, so it's a pretty fun and dynamic race, I think.
How's the car feel out there in the clean air out front as compared to back there being in traffic?
It's pretty snug in the pack for sure. It's you almost have to search for where the cars in front of you aren't just to get through it. Because when you're behind people, it just gets really, really, really tight. Hard to do anything with it when you're in the pack.
All right, buddy. I know you're getting ready to go back green. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, I thank my grandmother. She's watching the race right now, so thanks for the support there.
All right, buddy. We'll send you back up to the channel there as you get ready for the restart here. Saucier in the lead at Poland, your points leader outside. You got Billy Rickett, Jason Chrisman in row number 2. Then you got the freshly painted the number 16 there, which is actually, let's see what number that is. I believe that's the 55 of Zane Bierman, just out there in the 66 here, or the 16 here tonight. A little throwback to Greg Biffle, but pace car is in. Saucier back into the restart zone, and we are racing here again at Charlotte.
Yeah, and iRacing finally wanted to play. I see the 64 has updated here with Paul Helms back there with the Coors Light. And who was the other one?
97 of Radford.
Radford.
Should be the Ally.
Yep, he is in the Ally machine. So it's not in the down there below on the screen, but it did update on the main screen. So I guess that's the part that matters. The one that's actually driving on the track. But yeah, you think one and one would work together, right? So SDK now not picking up the updated paints, but hey, this is what it is. But obviously we got them out there, get the people the recognition they would like for doing the paint job. So there's just a few cars that weren't populating the way they're supposed to be, but they are good to go now on the track. But on the track, Bryce is back out to the lead, and here comes Zane Bierman in the number 16 or 50. Actually, he's a 55, but running the 16 throwback there what's his name?
Greg Biffle.
For Greg Biffle. But yeah, quickly falling back off. Just making sure, I guess he gave everybody room and not wrecking anybody.
Yeah, I feel like we got to give Zane the Ironman Award here for CRN. He's certainly probably one of the most active drivers on CRN. He races obviously here in 191. I know we see him. Oh, it was close. We've seen him in the Core Xfinity Series. We see him in CSRL. He's in the Core GT Series as well. So he's certainly an active little man there in the 55. But representing the 16 here tonight as well with the throwback. But good restart here from the field, and now we can kind of get after it. We got that first 25 laps in with the cop caution. See some smoke, some cars brushing the wall here. We're going to keep this thing going, and all 17 point in the right direction still. For the most part, the entire group here right on your screen all the way back through to about 15th position. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to Chris Perry, and then Wade Inyard back there as well. But I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here at CRN, as this is as typical race number 1 for us here for the week. But we got plenty of racing action here the rest of the week.
Here we go from here to, well, me and Carl get the opportunity to actually get behind the wheel, and we're going to take some, the new, one of the newer cars out there to a road track. So a Novel car on a road track. And I'll have to tell you, Carl, got out there kind of, wasn't quite sure what to expect. Besides the brakes kind of being a little dookie, the car handled pretty well. So I was pleasantly surprised. And it should end up being a pretty neat little 45-minute race for those cars. But I don't think I got enough to really be a handle for some of them road racers we actually got in the series. But we're going to give it a try.
Now, last week with the dirt race was my foray, and I know how to get at least a win on that combo because when it comes to the road here, I think a win for me is a top 5. There's definitely a lot of drivers that are good on the road, but yeah, the late models certainly handle a little bit better on the road than these cars right here, the Xfinity, than than the A cars, the trucks. They handle better than any of the NASCAR type vehicles. I know they're kind of like a feeder series for NASCAR, but they're actually a pretty decent road car as well. I know we've done it a couple times, but it'll be interesting to see. But looking forward to seeing the rest of this one out here, and we'll see who's got the hot shoe to get the win. Yeah, maybe he's taking the night off. We'll give him the night off for once.
Barry's like, you're talking about the hard charger Iron Man for like Zane Behrman. Barry has been the hard. We have like close to like, what did I say, about 1,000 videos. I think Barry's been or attended about 950 of them at least. So yeah, the night off for Barry's busy. Definitely a shout out is missed, of course, but definitely do miss him out there. But he's been a big supporter here for me and Carl with CRN, and it's always good to see him out there.
We very well be watching the playoff games going on right now. I know I have it paused myself.
Is there like an Eagles game on or something?
There is. I have it paused right now in the
my
third quarter.
team won yesterday. I'm good.
Yeah, there was. Listen, every game so far in the playoffs, every team that I kind of wanted to win had the lead late in the fourth, and then just took a big old steamy dump. It looked like the Panthers may have pulled off an upset win, and they choked it away at the end. And then it looked like the Jaguars may get the win today, and then they choked away at the end. It just, everyone's choking it here at the end, and I'm afraid to hit that play again in the third quarter here of the Eagles game. Again, it may be over by now for all they know, but no spoilers for sure, please, out there in the CRN chat, as we're going to watch this when we're done. But I'm more in tune to the race right now.
You got a race to be. You be racing. You be watching that thing at midnight.
I can multitask behind the wheel.
You better stay off the internet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I don't think we have 40 cars in action for the Premier Series, so should be okay with that one. But
I mean, it is a road race, so it's caution free. 45 minutes, and we're good to go.
Well, either way, it's a good little run right now that these drivers are on, and most of the field is kind of single-filed, spread out here, except for up there at the lead. It looks like Jason Chrisman is now going to take the lead away from Brett Saucier. Michael Casey now starting to poke the number 6 up there towards the front. But you see the run you get on the outside, Jimmy. I mean, we talked to Saucier in that little brief moment there under caution, and he mentioned that this track is racy here tonight, and we're seeing drivers be able to go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, you can see Saucier just kind of running that higher line, and Jason Christmas kind of trying to push it, but not able to run that inside quite as open. And you can get that inside run here. Oh, that's what's going to hold up the Saucier and run up against the wall, and that's what takes it away. And right now, side by side, heading down into turn number 1, but even that little touch of the wall, still a good run there for the two here as they battle for the lead. But the 98 should get it here, and now, like, in order to stop him, he just has to make sure he's cleared enough, and then he gets up in front like that. Not quite.
That was close.
Yeah, almost.
And then he tried to, but there we go. Now he gets it.
Yeah, he needs to get up and take that momentum away in order to secure that position. But right now, because it was close, it allows the door to open here for Michael Casey to kind of come off of turn number 4, kind of down the front stretch here. And the same thing's going to happen. Now he's got to get underneath Saucier and try to make that same thing. But now he has 2 cars to deal with. And if the 98 slides up, it will take that run away from that outside car. And yeah, that's going to keep him the 98 front and 6 back.
I thought we were going to be 4 wide there for a brief second, but it looks like it's all settled down, and it spreads back out into 2 wide here coming off the corner as you see the 18 trying to maybe look for another move. Meanwhile, back here right behind him, you got Matthew Radford has moved up there through the field pretty well. He's up there now in the top 5. Kind of a bird dog in these drivers in front of him. He's got the Zane Bierman on the outside. These drivers have kind of checked out just a little bit of a gap, about 2 seconds in between Radford and then the next group leader being Douglas Ivey, as he's got about a 6-7 car pack back there, and then about a 1.5 second gap back to Paul Helms as we're getting pretty spicy up here at the front. 6 cars under a blanket. I think Jason Christman's trying to just get away from these guys. Just leave me alone. Let me just run up front for a little bit. You guys do what you want to do. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, maybe the 18 just using that high line. It was advantage, obviously, to kind of maintain position, trying not to overdrive the car. Always seems like when you can really drive in on a corner low, and then but you just have to let off too much. You get that final rotation, so you don't drift up into the car on the outside. And that's really why the slower line, or sometimes the inside is slower, is like if the car does have a newer tires, and to get that grip, you can't run it to the wall and keep that momentum going. So everything you just gained going in, you lose coming out. In the 18, getting close with Michael Casey. Michael Casey, I think maybe brushing the wall just a little bit, but 18 and 6 continue the battle as they want to maybe try to get up there in front of the 98. But the 18 was talking about how dirty air was. Look, it's like a great run coming out of turn number 4 down the front straight.
We mentioned last race, after the last race, that this is kind of all on Levi Pullen here tonight, in regards to his I don't know if you want to consider Fibonacci sequence or what, but the just looking at the race wins. I mean, he won a race, then took 3 races off until he won the next one, 2 races off until he won the next one, and then 1 race off, and then he won another one. So, yeah, if the trend continues, he should be your winner here tonight. But we'll see if he can get his 5th win, or it'll be somebody else. But other winners here for the season so far, you got Matthew Jordan, Michael Casey with 2 wins each, Roger Saucier, Jason Christman, and Nolan Potter all with a single win as well. And if you want to find out any of these stats, or point standings, the schedule, anything like that, just check it out on the Core website. Just go to www.coreracingleague.com, and under the Core Racing Network tab, you'll be able to find the partner leagues, and you can see all the leagues that we broadcast here on CRN. You can take a look at their schedules, their standings, everything like that. Certainly shout out to Dave Topher for everything that he does to help us out, not just in Core, but for all these leagues here, to kind of get some a little more exposure for them, and maybe a little bit more for the fans to get it out there, so they can browse around and see how their favorite drivers are doing, or maybe check out some other leagues, and even same thing for the drivers, to see hey, what's going on Wednesday nights. I got a night free all of a sudden, can I get in another league? And of course, you get in another league, Jimmy, you want to be broadcasted by CRN, let's be honest.
It seems to be kind of like the flow of things. There's a lot of these different races like that we broadcast, for each and every week. Obviously, we have our same people, and we got our great fans each and every week, but sometimes you just kind of get that one driver, just all of a sudden you see him in 191, mediocre, or Hold Your Brakes Academy, Core, CSRL, and kind of like somebody like Zane Bierman, just loves to be out there, and loves to just fits his schedule, so he's able to kind of get out there and run. But it's great to see everybody. It's great to see the fans come back here each and every week. I mean, consistently each and every week there's about 20 25 people that show up in the chat to watch the drivers, and that's just awesome that these drivers come out each and every week, and so do the fans. And I'm sure there's many more, maybe people watching, more people watching around their TV, maybe a group of people, just seeing how their favorite driver's doing. But if you got it, your favorite driver hasn't maybe hit the TV screen because they're back there just kind of not quite in the action, let us know. I mean, I have no problem going back to see what your favorite driver's doing, where they're at. But I know Scott Henderson might be jamming to some music, but yeah, it looks like he's trying to track down Wayne Inyard. So these two here trying to battle out here for 15th place. And this race here, obviously this position, I should say, people are like, oh, they're not doing very well. These drivers here are probably having just as much fun as Bryce Saucier and Michael Casey. They're racing around each other. And the thing is maybe 2 drivers that are around the same talent level, so like the same skill level, and get the same speed, and you end up with a rival. So each and every week, when you're in a GT race and you're doing roads, there's typically a few drivers, the same thing, that are usually up front or usually mid-pack. And obviously you'll get some of the ones that are mid-pack, they end up front because maybe it's their favorite track, or maybe they're just having a good night, or maybe they found something in the weeks prior. But it's always just as fun to see these drivers back here racing for even these back positions. So try to give them some love and attention back here because they are too wide here. Oh, Travis Noble, I think, where'd he go? He disappeared.
And seek. Saving tires.
I just seen him drop it through. I thought something happened there on the track, but yeah, because they're in this here is like called the battlefield. This mid pack here, obviously starting off there. Douglas, with Matthew Scruffy Jordan leading, but you got Douglas Ivey, and then you got Richard Hartman back there with Bradley Worley, and you see Bradley Worley and Paul Helms just battling it out back here. And again, this is just as fun in P10 or 11 to have a race back here, with somebody around the same skill level. And I know when I'm out there, I'm not going to win. I know that. So I like to have my rivals and then try to beat them each week. So, I mean, obviously getting the top 5 would be great. Podiums would be awesome. Wins would be super great, but I'd have to get struck by lightning probably. But yeah, it's out there. I mean, but
timely caution. Timely caution works.
Timely caution works. We've seen it. But the guys up front right now are Michael Casey. Finally gets out to the lead over Bryce. And then Levi Poland there. So Michael Casey, if he wants to make way on Levi Poland, needs to get out in front of that 91, and this is the best he can do. I mean, you got to win and keep that 91 behind you, and hopefully you get some other cars that kind of get between the two here. But Michael Casey's got a steep road ahead as the 91 of Levi Poland does have a pretty good points lead right now, but the 18 wants to win tonight, Carl.
Yeah, certainly looking well out there, and it's just why he probably wanted to be the spotlight driver for this week for us to come and talk to. Maybe he was feeling it here tonight at Charlotte, and looking pretty good here so far. And taking a look back at the schedule, last time we were at a similar track, Echo Park Speedway, a similar design. Certainly the 1.5 mile quad oval, but Echo Park is definitely different with the new paving. That we've been to both the old paving and the new one. The old one was the second race of the season. Levi Poland took the win, and then the new pavement, if you want to consider that, is Jason Chrisman was the winner. So no surprise to see the 98 up there doing some battling here tonight, but. As it stands right now, Casey leads the way, Poland in second, Saucier now in third, the 98 of Chrisman is up there in fourth. Billy Rickett still hanging out there, but starting to drop back here a little bit in fifth right now. Bierman, Radford, Jordan, Hartman, and Helms now for your top 10. But yeah, you mentioned the kind of like the little pockets of different drivers and skill levels, and it can go track to track, as you mentioned. Sometimes you got drivers that are better on these kind of higher banked quad ovals, and they maybe translates a little bit to the 1.5 mile tri ovals as well. And certainly you're going to have some road specialists, when you get to the 1 or 2 road races that are on the season. You got super speedway guys as well. Some certainly ones that are looking forward to super speedway racing, and maybe their chance to finally get a good run in there, maybe even pick up a win. And then obviously your short track specialists are sometimes as few and far as the road specialists. Some drivers just really like the hard braking and getting into some close battling at the short tracks, and they really excel. But here tonight, kind of your intermediate track, and you're seeing the 6-car breakaway here. It's about a 5-car breakaway. Zane Bierman trying to hold on to the back of him right now, and if they keep going battling like this, I don't think Zane Bierman's going to fall too far back behind him.
Yeah, just sorry for the SDK just locked up, so you guys are seeing it. Me reboot it. Getting some tracks standings and stuff here. It's like, where'd my HUD go? But all of a sudden, it just wanted to disappear. SDK is not wanting to play all of a sudden. But right now, we don't need to worry about that. Michael Casey is out to the lead here. We are on lap number 62 of 125. So working up to that halfway mark right now.
Once again, I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here on CRN. Battle for the lead here. Saucy has certainly been working that top line. He seems to enjoy that line more than any. It's gotten him to the lead a couple times, and looks like he's trying to work that thing and get it to the front again. I mean he's using the extremely high line up there, even up above the seam. But Michael Casey battling hard on the bottom, trying to defend. But you see the 18 now is going to clear into turn number 1. Now you got Levi Poland looking to try and get up here in the mix. Billy Rickett making a bit of a run back here once again, now up into the top 4, looking for third.
Yeah, just obviously things are going around. Pit stops have happened for a few drivers. So you see Douglas Ivey and Garner Jr. and Henderson all been in on lap number 60. And I'm sure these drivers are trying to push it as far as possible. But if we're looking at lap 60, these drivers are only out there for 35 laps, under green. So that means, another pit stop, at least in the works. But these drivers got to keep going here. We're on lap number 65. There is 60, hold on. Yeah, 60 more laps remaining. Seeing how much longer they can go and who's going to pull off a short pit here if they can get them up any positions. But these top 5, make that 5 are on the way. But our first of the top in the front is going to be your number 55, or excuse me.
You're right, 55.
Yeah, 55.
Yep. As he comes in from 6th, he was starting to really kind of fall back. Maybe used up his tires a little bit too much there in the beginning of the run. He was about 4 seconds adrift of this little 5-man breakaway at the front. So not surprised to see him come in here early. Maybe get some fresh rubber on that car and try and use the short pit to kind of get back into the mix of things. But not seeing any movement from the top 5 yet, other than battling with each other and switching up the positions, and still see quite a few drivers running this thing out a lot further. And you kind of start to wonder, the last pit on lap number 25 looking like 40 to maybe 45 is the pit window. So you start kind of working it backwards and start to figure out, it looks like they're going to be still seeing one more pit stop after this. So 2 pit stops here to the end, and we'll see how this thing all plays out. But right now it's a good one. It's a good run. Levi Poland now is your leader.
Levi Poland running the way here tonight so far at the past the halfway mark as pit stops have begun.
As we're in the midst of the pit stops here, we're past the halfway point. We're going to go ahead and step aside as we typically do. Give everyone out there in Sierra Nation, include Barry, now that he's out there joining us, with a little love to hear it.
A little bit of love here.
Sights and sounds here of the 191 Motorsports here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As we're in the back half of this race right now, we're starting to see some of the leaders now coming into the pits and getting a better picture of what the rest of this race is going to look like. This should be the last pit stop for everyone here, as it certainly made it a lot further than we kind of expected out there. Yep. But now the question is, who's got the right strategy at the right time, and we're going to see a lot of leaders still have to make their pit stops. Look like the top 4 right now: Saucier, Hartman, Helms, and Scruffy still need to make their final pit stop here of the race. But it's been a good one, a good lean and green race, and only one caution. That was the comp caution here so far. But these pit stops here are certainly going to spread out the field, and we'll see. Again, who's got the right strategy at the right time, and who's got the tires to maybe make the comeback here, making these late pit stops, because short pitting is definitely going to help. And we'll see. Like right now, Zane Bierman in 6th place. Levi Poland came in. He's back there in 10th. Now, granted, they're going to work their way up through the field here. But, it's a good 5-second gap between Bierman and Poland, because Bierman came in quite a bit earlier on lap number 65, but he's going to have some older tires that he have to nurse all the way to the end of this thing. Now we got Saucier in the pits. It's going to leave just Hartman and Matthew Jordan to make their pit stops. But certainly want to send a shout out and a thank you to the sponsors here for the season: Kim's Cups and More, and One Vision EMS and Transports. And good to see Richard Hartman out there in the field here tonight with the number 52 and getting a lap lead here as well. So good job stretching this thing out on fuel. Just him and Matthew Jordan yet to come into the pits. Out of the cars that came in and made their final pit stop, Jason Chrisman sitting pretty right now as he is in 2nd place. He's got about a 1.8 second lead. 3.9 second lead over Matthew Radford, who's currently in 4th.
Yeah, Christmas actually looking really good here, considering how long they actually went, and obviously got the short pit in and able to kind of get out there, and now got clean air. He's not battling anybody. He's out front. Got a good. Doesn't have to push the cars. Got a little bit of time to play with. Just got to focus on just being very consistent and hitting your marks and keeping consistent laps in here. Chrisman running, 31.48 that last lap. Back to your next would be like Bradford was running 31.9. So half a second faster than Radford and Bierman, and he came in a little bit later, even in lap 72. You need to look back to like Poland and Casey, and Poland and Casey running 30.2. So almost a second faster. But it's how soon and how quickly will that those lap times kind of fall away, fall to the downside here, and it's going to be on Poland and Casey, obviously, to not really battle it out. They need to basically focus on tracking down those leaders right now in order to get back up there to contend or battle for a win. But Richard Hartman's still stretching it out here, Carl. I don't know, maybe
is he getting 100 out of this tank? Is he getting 100 laps? There we go. There we go. We just got to talk about it one more time. It's like Beetlejuice.
Long time to be out there. Roughly 60 laps, 55, 60 laps on a set of tires. I'm sure his car is feeling like pretty much doo-doo. But, still was last lap, 32.81, and his best lap was a 29.8. So 3-second difference in a matter of 50 laps, and that's huge when it comes to per lap racing. But trying to stretch it out there, maybe hoping somebody would catch a caution or something. You never know. A lot of people try to stretch fuel as long as they can, and could catch a break, because if you stay out there early enough and you're able to get by enough people, you're the only guy coming in, and then you've got fresh tires. If you would have been able to, catch a caution, even like Hartman and Ivy both came in there at lap 90, but they would have been, they probably would have came in and would have got fresh tires and then go back out there, and then they would have had 10, 15 lap newer tires than everybody else. That gives them a huge advantage. So So you got to give it to him for being able to stretch it on those tires and stay out there. I mean, he did get a couple laps then, so that's always good. Right now, your leader is Jason Chrisman. Then Matthew Rafford in the 97. We talked about how consistent he is. He's up 14 spots right now. Was in on lap 61, so possibly looking at maybe making it the rest of the way. It does look like it appears that he should be able to. So, but looking good at the moment as that time is kind of lingering there and sitting still with Zane Bierman that is sitting in third. But Zane has got his mirror full as Wade Inyard's getting passed by the number 91 of Levi Pullen and the 6 of Michael Casey. Maybe not too worried about battling each other now. They just need to get around Zane and, don't put too much pressure on each other. Save them tires and the battling for when they get to the podium. Zane tagging the wall there just a little bit. You don't need to wreck that number 16/55. But Zane Bierman up there. And then Billy Ricketts on his way as well, as he's now kind of clogged up behind the 52 of Hartman. But I can't say really clogged up because Hartman now has brand new tires and looking to move that thing forward. And kind of a shocker though, Bryce Saucier back there in 7th. Carl?
Yeah, I think it's just because he went so long on the stand. He pit on lap number 85, so now he's going to try and get back up, and it shows you how much the short pitting means. I mean, he was up there battling with Jason Chrisman, but Chrisman now 20 seconds ahead of him, and it's not from anything in the pits. Saucier actually had a better overall pit stop than Chrisman. It's the short pit, and it's a 13 lap difference in pit stops between the two drivers, and that exactly is what was the difference here for at least the time being. But there's still plenty of racing yet to go. Still got 30 laps to go here at Charlotte. But if you're Saucier, you definitely need to start clicking away at that time. Already down to 19 seconds. At least for the next 10, 15 laps, he's got to get at least a second a lap here to make it interesting.
Yeah, it's obviously they're the ones under the gun there. Obviously, Jason needs to kind of, like I said, keep his stuff consistent. Being out there in the lead and got a nice little lead, obviously, over Levi Pullen back there, 7.8 seconds. And obviously, those laps are he's losing time basically to Levi, but not by much, but 2/10. So it's going to take a little while to make up 7 seconds, but take care of your stuff, hit your marks, be consistent, don't oversteer, don't overshoot the corner. And Jason will be in a pretty good spot when it comes down to the end of this thing here. Try to save a little bit of that car for the end because the difference in the tires is 9 laps. On the other hand, Levi and Mike, obviously, if they push too hard, their tires will run out, they'll plateau, and they won't be able to catch Jason. And that's pretty much what Jason wants. So Jason just needs to be consistent and keep it cool up there. Right now, looking good here in the number 98 for a win. But Levi Pullen, Michael Casey trying to track him down, and then you can't count out Matthew Rafford. Obviously, we talked about Mr. Consistency when he's out there. Up 12 spots here tonight, starting in the back, sitting in P number 4. Billy Ricketts still continuing to battle the finishing bug. Starts off great and ends up finishing, just right around the top 5 there. But he would love to get on the podium and even a win here. But Zane Bierman now in P number 6. Bryce back there in 7th. Paul Helms in 8th. Matthew Scruffy Jordan's in 9th. Richard Hartman back in 10th. Rest of the field, Bradley Worley, Wade Inyard, and Douglas Ivey. Scott Henderson, Dale Garner Jr. Looks like Chris Perry has parked in the pits. Travis Noble has departed the field up in the hauler here tonight. So just, I guess he's done.
Yeah, it looks like Perry done. Travis Noble could be done here as well. We got Travis Noble done. Chris Perry may be done here as well. But still got 15 cars running. And Jimmy, I mentioned it before. I got to mention it again, though. I mean, these drivers doing a fantastic job out here. I got to knock on wood by saying it, but no cautions still yet here tonight with just the comp caution being the only one. And for the first time, maybe all season, another knock on wood, no meatballs up to this point. So we did see plenty of brushing of the wall. Haven't seen any meatballs up to this point. So great job by all the drivers out here. But we're down to the last 25 laps of this race. Jason Chrisman still enjoying the lead here out front. Levi Poland, Mike Casey, Matthew Radford, or Billy Rickett for your top 5. Bryce Saucier, Paul Helms, Richard Artman, Matthew Jordan, and Bradley Worley for your top 10. Everybody should be done with pitting here. So it's just who's got the right tires at the right time here.
Yeah, it's, and who can take care of them, if you came in earlier, obviously, and that's what they're working on. But obviously, laps starting to kind of come down here a little bit. We got 23 laps to go. Is 3 seconds enough of a gap, 6 seconds enough of a gap for Jason to hold over Levi and Mike as he's trying to make it to the end here. Billy Rickett back and forth. Now he's gotten around Matthew Radford, but still in the top 5. Bryce Saucier back there in 6th. Still has some work to do as he is 13 seconds back behind the leader.
Yeah, I think honestly it's a little bit too much right now for Saucier to try and get back up here and kind of get into this mix at least for the win, unless, obviously a late caution one would change everything out there.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody be back in here for fresh tires, but it's just a little bit too much too late here, I think, for the 18 to get back up here. But we'll see how everything shakes out here, especially if the second and third place Poland and Casey can run down Jason Chrisman. They got about 10 lap newer tires than the leader, but can they run him down? I mean, right now it's just kind of holding steady at 6.5 seconds. I think Chrisman may be going to the school of Jimmy Covert and listening there a little bit, saving those tires early on in the run, not driving too hard on them, knowing that he's going to have to make them last all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's just about you have to hold the distance until those tires plateau off, and we all know new tires on oval racing, they're strong, they're fast, they're sticky. You can drive wherever, you can go as fast as you want. You heat them up, you make them mad. Next thing you know, they're greasy, and you still got plenty of tread, but they're greasy. You're sliding all over the place. You're tagging a wall. It's only going to slow you down, and you're never going to have to let off for at least a lap or two to get them back under control. And they don't have that time to do that. And as long as, like I said, Jason just controls his marks and driving, he's going to find himself in a perfect spot here at the end of this race. And he has that right now as he's out to a 6-second lead with 20 laps to go.
Yeah, they're the second and third place definitely not gaining enough to run him down right now. And we mentioned last time we were here at a 1.5 mile quad oval at the Echo Park Speedway. It was Jason Chrisman taking home the win, so this could be, the intermediates is what he prefers here on the season to get himself another win here and lock himself in. So great job out there from Chrisman and all the drivers right now. I want to thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like, subscribe, get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer. But we're getting down to the end here. We're less than 20 laps right now. Chrisman leads the way. Can he make those tires go all the way to the end? It seems like we've already maybe kind of gotten close to that plateau kind of area for some of these drivers, unless maybe they're doing the same. Maybe they were holding back here a little bit for a final push here at the end. The lead now under 6 seconds.
Yeah, you can see down below, I got it focused there. You can see the laps on how much time that Poland is gaining on Chrisman. So last couple laps was just over a tenth, and in circles, that's some great times there, and obviously crossing the line there for lap 108, 17 laps remaining. Again, another tenth has been gained on Chrisman from Levi Poland, and Levi Poland's got about not quite a second over Michael Casey back there. So it's just like it's a race against the laps right now for Levi. Can he push the car hard enough in order to make these up? And you got to see him, here on the screen, and you got still 5.8 seconds. It's going to take 8 laps just to get him down to 5 seconds. And this time there, Chrisman is gaining time. So that is not looking good for the 91 here tonight.
I mean, one of the faster cars on the track in the top half of the field is Bryce Ossier, running about 0.3 of a second faster, but he's still 12 seconds adrift from your leader, and he's going to need a lot of help to try and get in the mix of this one. So again, it's going to be I think a little bit too tough for the 18 here tonight. But I mean, right now, certainly Jason Crispin in the catbird seat with that 5.8 second lead. Does not want to see any other flags here tonight other than that white in that checkered, and they can't come soon enough as we're down to now 15 laps to go.
Yeah, and you can see back here, even with Billy Rickett sitting at P number 4, closing down Michael Casey ever so slowly. 500ths, so not quite a tenth a lap, and he's behind Michael Casey by a second and a half. So it take a little bit of time there for Billy Rickett to catch up as well. So just kind of time against everybody here. There's no real close battles on the track right now, with the exception of Dale Gardner Jr. And Bradley Worley. They're battling it out here. As you can see, the 31 trying to get underneath the 88. So some of these drivers in towards the back, like Zay Bierman, I seen him pit an extra time there. You can see up on the screen when people are pit. You see Zane Bierman was in on lap number 99 for some maybe right side tires, and let's get back out there and try to run this thing to the end, and be sitting pretty good. But Bradley Worley tagging the wall. It's going to allow the number 31 of Dale Gardner Jr. to make his way by. So 88 definitely having some handling or issues right there, but you can see here that Crispin starting to stretch this thing back out, Carl.
Yeah, I mean, it's back up to just about, now it just clicks over to 6 seconds. So Crispin has definitely got the right formula here tonight, and at least, up to this point. And we'll see if he can hold on for these last 10 plus laps. But certainly, again, a shout out to all these drivers doing a fantastic job here tonight. But it's kind of amazing. I mean, typically we see the short pit obviously do what it does. It gave him a good sizable lead out here from all the drivers that came in to get some fresher tires than he has by a good 10, some even 15 laps newer. But to be able to hold on like this and to be able to control the tempo up front, build that lead, but yet not drive too hard that it's going to burn off those tires, and all of a sudden the rest of the field starts catching you by a second or more a lap. So a fantastic job right now by Jason Crispin, and really a clinic on how the short pit should work.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's good to see. One, it's good to see. Maybe the drivers out there, they don't want Jason to kind of run away with it, but it's good to see this thing stay green this long, and that a strategy without cautions has come to play. This is what a lot of drivers like to see and shoot for, that their plan actually works. And obviously now he just has to pay close attention to all the drivers around him that may have newer tires. You see the 72 closing in up on the 98 like really quickly here. And he'll be able to get that pass. So just be careful and aware that Scott Henderson, is definitely going to be faster with 9 laps to go, on newer tires. You just kind of like, once he gets that point, let him go. Just be careful. Just, take it easy. You have over 6 seconds to play with, and there's no sense of putting yourself at risk. Obviously, if the lap car wants a lap back, by all means, not in your wheelhouse to battle, and as they have new tires anyways. So maybe even get their draft for a little bit to help out and spread that lead back out to over 6 seconds now over Levi Poland. Levi Poland now got a little bit over a second lead on Michael Casey, about a second and a half. But Michael Casey now has his hands full with the number 7 of Billy Rickett. Billy Rickett trying to get back on the podium with 8 laps to go. So our battle is here for the number 7 and 6 to the end.
And it's just kind of crazy, because before the pit stops, before the whole pit cycle, we had 5 cars under a blanket and just going at each other tooth and nail, side by side. And now all of a sudden, I mean, there's so much gap in between just about everybody. You see the battle right here for the final spot on the podium between Casey and Rickett. But like even Levi Poland has kind of stretched out from these two, and has got about a 1.7 second lead there in second place. I mean, it was 5, and now it's just spread out so much just because of the different pit laps that everybody came in on.
Yeah, and that has to deal with, they haven't mentioned it today, which is odd, strangely odd, but, making sure that the drivers nail their pit stops. And that's everything to the pit stop. The entry, the crossing the line, the hitting the box, the acceleration out of the box. And then once you get past the cones, your acceleration out of the box, getting the most out of it. You can lose so much time down in a pit stop. It's ridiculous. And you can see that there has been, even as close as they were racing before a caution came out, or before a caution was out, they were all on top of each other. Throw in a pit stop, and now this is what you got. So you got Jason Crispin, obviously, with a short pit and putting the clinic on. You got Levi Poland, had a great stop. Michael Casey always has decent stops, but still not quite as good as Levi's. And now you got Billy Rickett. Price ended up saving tires just a little bit more. Because he came in the same exact time, but now trying to get underneath the 6 here with 5 laps to go. P3 is under fire.
Yeah, but we've seen earlier on in the race that high line, it may not be the optimal line, but it is optimal for defending. And Casey trying to do every bit of it right now and in defense to try and hold on to this spot. But right now it's tough because these tires are coming to the end of their life, and you see the 7 maybe just getting an edge, and he is going to complete the pass here in the late stages of this race. Back to the line for Jason Christman. It's going to be 3 laps to go here at Charlotte. He's now stretched that lead out to 6.5 seconds, so looking pretty good here, providing no issues by him or by any of his competitors out there bringing out any kind of caution. You don't like this as a leader, being up here in the mix with a couple of different drivers here. Whether they got new tires or not, it's certainly not fun this late in the race to be dealing with this kind of thing. But either way, a great drive here from the 98 of Chrisman. Now back to the line. It's going to be 2 to go. You see Levi Poland back here, your points leader, chalking up another fantastic run here. Another run that's going to get him, looks like a podium. Billy Rickett, another good run for him. Another one that's not going to result in a win after starting up there on the front row here once again in second place. But another podium here as it stands. But, just again, it's the clinic that the short pit did here for Jason Chrisman is really what was put on display. And we've seen pit stops at all different kinds of times. We've seen Zane Bierman come in extremely early and so early that he actually had to make another pit stop just to kind of stay competitive at the end of this race. But Jason Chrisman gets the white flag here, and we are going to see him go around this 1.5 mile quad oval one more time. Gets maybe held up there a little bit by Scott Henderson coming off of the corner, but gonna have one more corner to get through with that cherry vanilla Coke, and he is gonna bring it back to victory lane here after winning at Echo Park. He's gonna tame both the 1.5 mile quad oval. Jason Chrisman, your winner here at Charlotte.
And he crosses the line and go back and had enough time to click on Levi and watch him cross the line, and then Billy Rickett was closing in as well for a 3rd place. Michael Casey will finish in 4th here tonight. Star 4th, finish 4th. Bryce Saucier, great start to the race here, but just a little bit of trouble. Maybe stayed out just a little bit too long. Finishes in 5th. Matthew Radford with another top 10, finishing in 6th, up 10 spots. That's your biggest mover of the race. Paul Helms up 4 spots from his start, up in 7th. Richard Hartman, everybody's finished, yeah. So Richard Hartman's in 8th. Zane Bierman will finish in 9th. Matthew Scruffy Jr. and Dale Gardner Jr. mixing it up here at the end. Will finish in 10th. Douglas Ivey back. Douglas Ivey back in 11th. Dale Gardner Jr. finishes in 12th. Bradley Worley in 13th. Wade Inyart in 14th. Scott Henderson finishes in 15th. And then you got Chris Perry and Travis Doble parking it early, but finishing 16th and 17th for your 17-car field with 191 Motorsports at Charlotte.
Once again, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here at CRN. We got the Hold Your Brakes Academy coming up tomorrow night. Tuesday, we got the Core Xfinity Series presented by simraces.com. Wednesday, we got the doubleheader with CSRL and Pit Road Speed Limit Racing, and then on Thursday we have the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series. So plenty of racing yet to go this week, and looking forward to it. But we're going to get our top two in here for their interviews because we never get a chance to talk to Billy. He never wants to talk to us. One of the only drivers
maybe when
I
he
think
wins. Maybe when he wins.
And CRN Nation, I think, is the only driver that doesn't want to talk to us. But either way, we're going to go ahead and get our top two in here. And second place here tonight is going to go to the driver of the 91, Levi Poland. Levi, it's certainly, obviously, it's been a great season so far. You come in here as the points leader, and you come in here looking for back-to-back wins and kind of keeping that trend going. It looked like you were due for back-to-back wins, but second place here after the after the good long green flag run you guys had here. Does it feel good? Did you kind of look back and think, maybe the short bit was definitely a way to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to finish second, considering I wasn't so confident coming into this race at all. But when he pitted early, I was like, there's no way that's going to work. And I am shocked at, good strategy to him, good race to everybody. I love these long green flag run races. It makes the strategies go wild, and it's just a blast. And I would love to win 2 in a row, but it didn't happen tonight, unfortunately.
Well, either way, it's another good points night for you, and just kind of extending that points lead as we get late into the season now. I mean, yeah, certainly some wild cards maybe still in line with with Daytona, even North Wilkesboro, and Talladega still looming, but you're starting to maybe get in enough of a groove with enough good drivable tracks that do you go into any kind of points management at some point in this season, or is it still just head down and trying to click off some more wins?
At the moment, it's just all about winning. Unless we get to the super speedways, then that's going to be trying to manage points, because I definitely don't have no confidence with them. I always get messed up in wrecks. So outside of everything but super speedways, it's all about the wins. Super speedways is just about points.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on another top 3 here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, but before we do, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'd love to get a shout out and thanks to Core Racing Network for the broadcast. Amazing broadcast as always. 191 Motorsports, great league for anybody looking for a league. The fans for watching. Thank you all. My fiance, my kids, and anybody else. Thank you. Great race, everybody.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on another podium here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Michigan.
All right, can't wait.
That's your second place finish here tonight, the 91 in the Country Time Machine throwback that he's been running all season. That is Levi Poland. Top spot here tonight, Jimmy, with the right strategy, is going to be the 98 of Jason Chrisman.
Jason, Jimmy and Carl in the booth. You copy?
What's up, boys? That was a fun race.
That was one heck of a race and one heck of a drive there, from everybody, but especially from you. Your call to come in early was the key to success here tonight. And I was talking to Carl about, some of the things that you would have to do. And I'm just kind of curious if these are things that you had to do. It's kind of like a checklist. Got in the lead. Check. Manage my laps and hit my marks and be consistent to not overdrive my car. Check. I think that happened because at the end, when there's 10 laps to go, you were not allowing Levi Poland to actually gain on you. You were actually pulling back away. So I think all the check marks were marked, but we need to hear it from the horse's mouth and get a little bit of your rundown of your race because it was an exciting one.
Yeah, so that whole race, I found out really quick. I'm good on short run. I was struggling to save tires over a longer period, like that first 25 lap stint. You saw me go up to the front and then stall out around third, and then just kept dropping back. And then that second one, I got up to the lead. Me and Roger were battling hard there for a little while, and I just didn't feel like wasting up my tires up there with him, so I kind of dropped back and just kind of stayed right behind the group. Throughout that race, it was just a lot of hoping that I could, save tires on the long run. I was hoping we would go green the rest of the way. I was really glad we did. And that last pit stop, it was just a big decision of, I thought people were going to come down and split the race like I was used to. Like we had done 25 to 75 pit and then run 75 to the end. That's what I thought a lot of people were going to do. So I thought I'd get a couple laps, jump on them to get a little gap. And I was kind of surprised when a lot more people didn't come down earlier. So a lot of people were thinking different things, obviously. But once I got the tires, I came out behind a few people that had already pit too, pitting short. I didn't know how it was going to work out. But just saving tires, like you guys said, make sure I don't overdrive, make sure I keep the car straight, don't stress the tires. That was just the keys to keeping a stable car through the rest of the race.
It was pretty much a flawless execution here for the 98. I mean, you just put on a clinic on what a short pit is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to be executed to, pull out to that lead and then maintain it to the end of the race. And you did just perfect when it comes to all that. And just want to recognize that, it's been, it's one of the better drives I've seen in quite a while here on iRacing. So congratulations. But before we let you actually go celebrate this thing, give you some time for any shouts you may have it at number 98.
So my friend, I don't know if he did it. He said he was talking trash the whole race. He sent me a text afterwards. He was like, I was talking trash for you in the chat. If he gave you guys problems, I'm sorry. He's a little crazy sometimes. But no, he's been great. He likes to watch all my races. Showed out again tonight. My girlfriend was watching the whole thing. I got a little bit of support going behind me now. I got a few fans. So anybody out there watching, thank you guys for watching, keeping this going. This is awesome. I love the broadcast, love looking back on it. Carl, Jimmy, as always, you guys are amazing in your broadcast. You guys bring the energy to the show, make everybody feel, more pumped up for it. And just thank you again, Mike, for putting on this league. And yeah, that's all I really got to say. Thank you guys again.
I really appreciate the shout outs, man. Again, congratulations on your flawless victory here tonight at Charlotte. You get to try to do it again next week at Michigan, so I hope you're ready for there, where that multi-groove racing, action-packed strategy track can be, because it's, again, one of me and Carl's favorites, so looking forward to seeing a 98 out there. Again, congratulations on your finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, thank you, boys, again. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Winner here tonight, the 98 of Jason Chrisman, and definitely a clinic put on for anyone that is thinking about short pitting out there at any time. That's how you do it, certainly right there. But Renee, I was kind of browsing the comments here and there, but I was keeping my eyes off it just in case there was any spoiler alerts for me. But it's awesome. Not just all the comments that are out there, but all the fans that are tuning out there for the races as well. So thank you to that. Thank you to Kim's Cups and More and One Vision EMS and Transport for the sponsorships here as well. But that is going to do it here for tonight. Next week, we get the big, beautiful Michigan Speedway. So already looking forward to next week. For myself and Jimmy here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.